Welcome to my channel. Today we'll discuss Kirchhoff's laws. Kirchhoff formulated two rules for analyzing a complicated circuit. Means complicated circuit can be easily solved by applying Kirchhoff's two rules. We are going to study Kirchhoff's first law. Before we proceed to first law, we should know the meaning of junction. P is any point and 2 to 3 wires come and meet at this point, then P is called a junction. Kirchhoff's first law. This first law can be called as a current law or junction law also. So in short form, Kirchhoff's current law, it's a KCL. What it states? Kirchhoff's first law states that the algebraic sum of the currents at a junction is 0 in an electrical network. Summation I is equals to 0. Before we proceed to analyze this first law, let us consider some kind of sign conventions. The currents arriving at the junction are considered to be positive. Means if P is any junction over here and the current arriving at the junction, see here the direction of I4 means it's arriving at the junction, and I3 also arriving at the junction P, and I1 also coming towards P. So they should considered as positive, and the current leaving the junction, who are leaving over here? I5 is leaving, I2 is leaving, I6 is leaving. So these are considered to be negative. As example, okay, this is the P junction. I5 leaving the junction, I4 arriving the junction, I3 arriving the junction, I2 leaving from the junction, and I1 arriving to the junction, and I6 leaving from the junction. As we know, according to Kirchhoff's first law, summation I is always 0. Here I varies from 1 to 6 because I had taken a 6 wires over here. 6 conductors you can say. So according to sign convention, talk about I1. I1 is coming towards junction, so it is positive. I2 leaving from the junction, it is negative. I3 once again coming to the junction, positive. I4 coming to the junction, so it is again once again positive. And I5 leaving the junction, it is negative. I6 also leaving the junction, so it is negative. So if you collect positive currents at one side and negative currents on another side, this step. Thus, in short, you can state Kirchhoff's first law like this also. The total current flowing towards the junction is equals to the total current flowing away from the junction. You can state it as, thus, the total current flowing towards the junction is equals to total current flowing away from the junction. Kirchhoff's first law is consistent with the conservation of an electrical charge. Means some charge is received per unit time due to the current arriving at the junction. For the conservation of charge, some amount of charge must leave the junction per unit time, which leads to the law of current. Means in short, Kirchhoff's first law is based on law of conservation of charges. The charges arriving at the junction must leave the junction. This is the circuit. Let us apply Kirchhoff's first law. Okay. So I1 is a current with value 17 ampere. When it reaches junction B, 3 ampere flows through I2. So how much will be I3 now? So 17 minus 3 will be 14 ampere. Am I right? So here you can write I1 is 17 ampere. So at junction B, what happened? At junction B, I1 is splitted as I2 and I3. Okay. So I2 is 3 ampere. So the 17 minus 3 will give you 14 ampere. Now I3 became 14 ampere. Now I3 flows and come and meet at the junction C. Okay. From there I4 also coming towards the junction C. So you have to add them. 14 plus 2, it became 16 ampere. Now I5 will be 16 ampere. If you proceed further, when C reaches this junction, in 16 ampere, 9 ampere flows through I7. So 16 minus 9 means how much? Now I6 became 7 ampere. So I6 value will be 7 ampere. Two more examples by applying Kirchhoff's first law. See here, P is the junction. P is the junction. I1 arriving towards the junction P and I2 also arriving towards junction P. So at junction P, now current will become I1 plus I2 according to sign conventions of Kirchhoff's first law. So it became 2 ampere plus 3 ampere. So it became 5 ampere. So the total combined current flows through I3. So that's why therefore I3 became the sum of these two, that is 5 ampere. Moving to the next circuit, this is the junction. Call it as something P over here. I1 arriving towards junction P. So it is a 4 ampere. I2 also coming towards junction P. So you have to add them. Okay. And then I3 also coming towards junction P. So total it became 11 ampere. Now who is leaving from the junction? I4 is leaving from the junction. So current through I4 is nothing but 11 ampere. Kirchhoff's second law or voltage law, called as KVL. Kirchhoff's second law states that the algebraic sum of the potential difference potential difference means what? It is a product of current and resistance. According to Ohm's law, V is equals to IR. So potential difference is nothing but product of current and resistance. Okay, and the electromotive force EMFs in a closed loop is 0. So what is EMF? If this is the conductor, unless and until you apply any external force, the free charges always move in a random direction in the conductor. This is very basic concept. When you apply any external source to this conductor, now what will happen in this conductor? That these free charges which are flowing in a random direction are set into one direction, and that happens when you apply some external source. So who motivated them to move in a one direction? That is electromotive force. Electromotive force is applied due to this cell. So according to Kirchhoff's voltage law, the algebraic sum of potential differences. So I have taken algebraic sum of potential differences and the electromotive force. And the electromotive force should be 0. What it means? Let us discuss. Let us discuss about some basic terms. The first term I wanted to explain you is that loop. Okay, it is also called as mesh. So any closed conductive path in electrical network is called loop. For example, if I consider A, B, F, G, A, it is a one loop. So there is a closed conducting path in an electrical network. Means current goes from here and comes and again travel from here and again come to the same point. So this is called a one loop or mesh. If you consider other one, so if you want to trace like a path along with a C, B, F, D, C. So loop I am considering C, B, F, D, C means I am going like this. So this is also called another loop. This is loop 1, this is loop 2. So closed conducting path in an electric network is called loop. Consider other term, that is branch. A branch is any part of the network that lies between two junctions. See here, B is a junction where I1 come and meet and I2 also. So B is a junction and F is also junction from where I2 is leaving from this junction and I1 also leaving from this junction. So in between B and F are two junctions. A branch is any part of the network that lies between these two junctions. So BF is a branch over here. So BF is a branch over here. Other than this, let us discuss about some sign conventions based on Kirchhoff's second law. Tracing a loop through a resistor, if you are traveling along the direction of conventional current, the PD across that resistance is considered as negative. PD means potential difference. Let us discuss about this half part of this sign convention. So if you are tracing along with the path AB and the current also, conventional current also flowing through the same direction. So what will happen if your tracing path is also same, the conventional current also flowing in the same direction, then your potential difference should be considered as negative. Otherwise it is positive. Once again, while tracing a loop of through a resistor, if we are traveling along the direction of conventional current, we are traveling here, we are tracing the path along with the direction of conventional current, then the PD across that resistance is considered to be negative, otherwise it is positive. Proceeding to the second sign convention, the EMF of an electrical source is positive while tracing the loop within the source from negative terminal of the source to its positive terminal. What it means, if you are tracing in this direction from A to B, your tracing path is A to B, and then you are crossing the positive terminal to negative terminal, then your EMF should be negative. If you are tracing from B to A, then you are crossing this negative terminal to positive terminal, then your EMF is positive. In short, how I remember, when you are tracing the path, if cell come like this and positive to negative you are crossing, so it should be negative. From negative to positive you are going, then it should be positive. So these two sign conventions you have to remember to proceed with Kirchhoff's voltage law. This complicated circuit by applying Kirchhoff's both laws. So let us start. Now if I consider electrical network as shown in the figure, consider the loop. I will divide them as a two loop as I explained earlier. So I'll consider the loop. Which loop I am going to consider? A, B, F, G, A. Okay, I am considering the loop A, B, F, G, A. So A, B, F, G, A. Applying the sign conventions, what you will get now? So, according to Kirchhoff's second law, the sign conventions based on the second law, while traveling from A to B, you are tracing the path A to B. See here, from A to B I am traveling, and the conventional current also flow in the same direction. The potential difference, that is V equals to IR, should be taken as negative. So it comes as minus I1 R1. Then we have to proceed B to F. From B to F, again you are tracing from B to F, and the conventional current also flowing from B to F. Again the potential difference, that is I3 R5, should be negative, considered as negative. Proceeding further, we are going through, now we are tracing the path FG. So F to G, again you are traveling along with the conventional current direction only. So it is I1 R3 with the negative. These become sum of potential difference and plus EMF. Now while going from G to A, while going through path G to A, you are crossing this cell, that is EMF. So from negative to positive you are going, so your EMF should be positive. That should be equals to 0. So if you solve this in a proper way, E1 equals to, by keeping plus quantity E1 here only, by keeping E1 here only, send all the quantities over there, that side. So it became I1 R1 plus I3 R5 plus I1 R3. So this is the final expression for the first loop. Consider another loop, that is a loop BFDCB. BFDCB. Let us start. As your tracing path is B to F, so B to F, the conventional current direction also in the same direction, so it should be taken as negative, that is I3 R5. Then proceeding further, F to D, you are proceeding with the F to D, and again you are traveling with the direction of the conventional current. Again the potential difference, that is I2 R4, should be taken as negative. Again while going to D to C, you have to come across with the EMF. So negative to positive you are crossing, so E2 should be positive. Then proceeding further, while traveling from C to B, again you are going in the direction of conventional current only, so again I2 R2 should be taken as negative. So this will be 0. So if you solve this equation, that's it. Kirchhoff's second law, that is a voltage law, is consistent with the law of conservation of energy. Algebraic sum of EMFs per unit charge corresponds to the electrical energy supplied to the source. According to the law of conservation of energy, this energy must appear in the form of electrical potential difference across the electrical element or device, you can say, in the loop. This leads to the law of voltage.